Yes, good afternoon, students, and welcome back to the chapter that is chapter number 8, Human Health and Diseases. Now, as we have talked previously in our chapter, what is health, how is health defined, and what is disease, how is it defined, and what are the various factors which are affecting health of a particular living being. Clear? Now today we are just going to deal up with various type of the pathogens and various type of the diseases that are caused by these pathogens, their symptoms, their ailments, etc, etc. Okay, so now today as we are proceeding on, first we should deal up with pathogens. As in my previous video I have already discussed about pathogens. Again I am just to revise it out. What are pathogens? These are those organisms which these are those organisms which are responsible for causing certain diseases in other living organisms. Okay, so how can we define pathogens? Pathogens are those living organisms which are responsible for causing disease in other living organisms, or we can simply say that these are the disease causing organisms. Clear? So these are said to be the pathogens, and as I told you all that pathogens, they lie into a large number of the categories. Clear? So we can classify pathogens as bacteria, viruses. Okay, then talking about protozoans. Clear? Then talking about fungi. Then certain of the worms, that is esculments, etc, etc. Then of course the worms, or we can say the parasitic pathogens or the helminths. Okay, so these are the various categories of what to say the pathogens into which we are categorizing various type of the pathogens that are what to say the causative agents of varied diseases in different living organisms. So talking about first, that is bacteria, viruses, protozoans, fungi and helminths. When we are talking about helminths, they are what to say different type of the helminths. They can be either platyhelminths, or they can be either any type of the helminths that are residing in the body of any other living organisms. Basically, what is the mechanism of these pathogens? Pathogens, they are basically infectious in nature. Basically, they invade into the body of any other living organism, that is the host body. Clear? And after entering into the host body, what do they do over there? They gain entry into the host body, and afterwards they multiply at a very fast number. Clear? And since they are multiplying in a very fast number, therefore they are increasing their number at a very vast rate. And while doing so, what do? They what to say they interfere with the normal functioning of the body. Not only the normal functioning, the physical functioning as well as the physiological functioning of the body, and thus they what to say are the root causes of different ailments present in the body. Getting my words? So this is how pathogens, they what to say mechanism of the pathogens, that how do they cause diseases in various living organisms. And when I am saying that they gain entry, so most of them, they have to what to say become what to say adapted according to the host environmental body, host body environment. Accordingly, since they have to not only to survive over there, but they have to multiply there at a very vast rate. Since accordingly, since when we are talking about our human body, when we are talking about the pathogens which are present in the gut of the human body, therefore it should be able to resist such to resist such low pH range. Getting my words? Plus it should also be much and more protective against the actions of the various digestive juices that are secreted within the gut of our human body. Thus these are various examples of how pathogens they are capable of surviving within the host human body. Not only the since this chapter deals up with the human health and disease, therefore again and again I am using the word that is human health. Okay, so accordingly this function goes on. Clear? So that is all about the mechanism of pathogen, how it works in our body, and how is it able to survive within the body. Basically most of the pathogens they are parasitic in nature. सारे के सारे तो नहीं, लेकिन मोस्ट ऑफ देम जो हैं वो पैरासाइट ही हैं. ठीक है, और पैरासाइट रहते हुए ही वो हमारी बॉडी में जो है वेरियस सॉर्ट ऑफ डिसऑर्डर्स, वेरियस सॉर्ट ऑफ डिजीजेस जो हैं कॉज करने का काम करते हैं. ठीक है, सो सबसे पहला जो हम पैथोजन यहाँ पे स्टडी करने वाले हैं दैट इज बैक्टीरिया. व्हेन वी आर डीलिंग अबाउट बैक्टीरिया की जब हम बात करें बैक्टीरियल डिजीजेस में सबसे पहले जो डिजीज हम पढ़ेंगे दैट इज टाइफॉइड. क्लियर? सो यहाँ पर सबसे पहली जो डिजीज हम स्टडी कर रहे हैं दैट इज टाइफॉइड. ओके, सो द कॉजेटिव एजेंट of typhoid is Salmonella typhi. Getting my words? It is Salmonella typhi. The causative agent is a bacterium known as Salmonella typhi. Then what is the mode of spread of this disease? What is the mode of infection? Clear? So these what to say bacteria, they propagate through contaminated mode of propagation. They get propagated through contaminated food and water. Clear? That is, if a person is intaking contaminated food and water, then this Salmonella typhi it gains entry into the body of the human host. Clear? And then it interferes, it multiplies there over at a very fast rate, and then it interferes with the normal functioning of the body. Clear? Then what are the symptoms? Symptoms, they may include high fever, okay. Then what to say, accordingly we can say after high fever that in certain of the cases weakness, anemia, these are the general symptoms that we may include. Okay, and in severity of the cases the what to say perforation of intestine takes place, which proves to be lethal or it may be fatal, which proves to be lethal or it may prove to be fatal. Clear? Then talking about how can we diagnose this? Diagnosis is done by a Vidal test. Diagnosis is done by Vidal test. Okay. Then there is an what to say it is worth mentioning over here of a person who was known as Typhoid Mary. Clear? She was a person who was engaged in a food business, and while she was preparing food for her customers, she used to spread typhoid to a large number of the customers she offered her food to. So she is very oftenly known as typhoid mari. Getting my words? So this is all about typhi. Another bacterial disease that we are going to study about over here is pneumonia. Pneumonia, causative agents of this disease. Are Streptococcus pneumoniae, it is Haemophilus influenzae. Clear? So the causative agents are Streptococcus pneumoniae it is and Haemophilus influenzae. Getting my words? What are the symptoms of the disease? When we are talking about the symptoms of the disease, symptoms, they include filling up of water, liquid in the alveoli of lungs, due to which it becomes impossible for a person to breathe out, okay, which hinders normal breathing. Then of course the cold, sneezing, coughing, hoarseness of the throat. These are all the symptoms of pneumonia also. And in severe cases where a person is severely infected, what happens? The nails and all, they start turning grayish to blue in color. In severe cases, the nails start converting from grayish to blue in color. Okay, then mode of propagation, when we are talking about mode of infection, basically pneumonia is spread out by the droplets of the infected person or the aerosol of the infected person. Since these droplets, they are present in the atmosphere for a very long period of time, therefore whenever some healthy person it inhales these droplets, then what happens? Then these droplets, they are going to enter into the into the system of that person, respiratory system of that person, and of course it is also going to infect that very particular person. Of course, these droplets, when they are present at the doorknobs or other articles, like doorknobs, the handles, or whatever things or the articles that are in general use in our day-to-day life, and whenever certain healthy person it uses those infected articles, they may also get infected from pneumonia. Getting my words? And having close contact with the person having pneumonia, that may also be proved to be infectious in nature. So this is all about the diseases which are caused by bacteria. Now we are just going to move forward on to diseases that are caused by viruses. Viruses or viral diseases. So the very first disease that we are going to study over here is common cold. Common cold, it is a viral disorder or a viral disease. Getting my words? And when we are talking about common cold, causative agent is rhinovirus. The causative agent is rhinovirus. Clear? Symptoms of this disease. What are the symptoms? Various symptoms are there. Excess of chills. Excess of chills. Then what to say? High fever. High fever. Sneezing. Nasal congestion. Nasal congestion. And hoarseness of the throat. Hoarseness of the throat, etc., etc. These are all the symptoms of the disease, that is common cold. Incubation period. Incubation period is up to 3 days. Okay, that is the incubation period of this particular disease. Then what are the modes of propagation or modes of infection? Again, the mode of infection is by air. As we all know that the droplets or the aerosol that is spread out by the infected person, it remains in the air for a long period of the time, and if a healthy person inhales those droplets or the aerosols, then it is very much likely for that person to get infected. And if the healthy person is using the articles that are used by the infected person, then also in that cases the person might get infected from common cold. So it is a very infectious disease, and it is very easily spread out from one person to another person. Clear? So this was the viral disease that is given up over here in your NCERT book. I would have liked to discuss HIV also, but it is given in the later part of the chapter, and then I will be dealing up with that part later on. Clear? So now we are just moving ahead with another disease, that is diseases that are caused by protozoans. The very common disease that is spread by protozoans is malaria. And when we are talking about malaria, the causative agent is a protozoan which is known as Plasmodium. Clear? Plasmodium. Okay. So when we are talking about the Plasmodium, here 4 strains of Plasmodium are present, or 4 species of this Plasmodium they are present in nature. That is Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium vivax, and Plasmodium falciparum. So when we are talking about Plasmodium falciparum is the most infectious, or it is the most lethal form of the Plasmodium. Getting my words? It is the most lethal. It proves to be lethal or dreaded in most of the cases. Getting my words? So these are the 4 species or the strains by which any healthy person can get affected. Getting my words? So moving further on with this Plasmodium, what it does, what are the symptoms of Plasmodium? When we are talking about the symptoms of Plasmodium, so recurrent fever with chills That is the basic symptom of malaria. Recurrent fever with chills. Okay, then the person might feel weakness, lethargic, loss of appetite, etc. These are the general symptoms which every person of every sort of disease is having. But the basic what to say the symptom is recurrent fevers with chills. Okay, so why does this happen? Why does the recurrent fever with chills happen? So dealing up with this, first we should know about the life cycle of this plasmodium. Okay, this plasmodium protozoan is present in the stagnant waters. Clear? Not in the running waters. It establishes itself in the stagnant, that is standstill waters. Getting my words? And while doing so, whenever the female Anopheles mosquito, which is the vector of this disease, vector is female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, these female Anopheles mosquito, as we all know, that they thrive very well in the stagnant and the dirty water. So whenever this happens, they are multiplying, or they are thriving in the dirty water. The larvas, of course, when they are also thriving up over there in the dirty water, they intake the plasmodium. Okay, and this plasmodium, it gains entry into the salivary glands of this female Anopheles mosquito, and it multiplies over there, and after multiplying it reaches up to the sporozoid stage. Clear? And when this Anopheles mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito, it bites any healthy person through its proboscis, then what it does, that it this protozoan, that is plasmodium, it gains entry into the human host through through the proboscis of the female Anopheles mosquito. Clear? Then after gaining entry into the into the human host, this sporozoid stage, it reaches up to the liver, and after infecting the liver, infecting means that it multiplies over there at a very fast rate, and it infects the liver, and after infecting the liver, it attacks the RBCs. Clear? That is, it damages the RBCs. Okay, and while doing so, when the RBCs, they are damaged, or they are attacked, or they are ruptured, these RBCs, they secrete a particular type of a toxic substance which is known as hemozoin. Okay, and this hemozoin, it is very much responsible for the recurrent fevers with chills, and these recurrent fevers, these repeat themselves after every 2 to 3 days. Getting my words? So this is all about the life cycle of protozoan malarial parasite, that is plasmodium. And whenever a healthy female Anopheles mosquito, it bites or it stings any infected person, then the plasmodium, it gains entry through the proboscis of that female Anopheles mosquito, and again it enters into the salivary gland of that female Anopheles mosquito, and it thrives over there, that is, it multiplies over there. Getting my words? So here this plasmodium malarial parasite, it is covering its life cycle, or it is completing its life cycle into two hosts, that is, one is the female Anopheles mosquitoes, and the other is the human body. Getting my words? So here here we can say that it is digenic in nature. Digenic means it is having two hosts for completing its life cycle. That is, it needs two hosts to complete its life cycle. Getting my words? So these are all the symptoms of malaria. And then what are the preventive measures, that how can we prevent malaria? So when we are talking about the preventive measures of malaria, so we should clean out all the coolers, or wherever the stagnant water is present, like the pots and those things like tires, everything that are present over here. Nowadays it is rainy season, and we can see that stagnant water or still water is present everywhere in the ditches around us, and everywhere in the coolers, everywhere wherever you can see. So we should clean out these things, and we should remove the stagnant water from there, so that the larvae, they are not able to survive over there. Getting my words? Then second thing, what we should do, we should use nets, and even we should use netted doors and windows, so that we can avoid the entry of the female Anopheles mosquito in the house. Getting my words? Then we should also use certain side of the chemicals which should be sprayed into the water from time to time, so that it can kill the larva of the female Anopheles mosquito. Clear? Plus we should also introduce Gambusia. It is a sort of a small fish which feeds up on the larva of the female Anopheles mosquito, which further hinders the propagation of this malarial disorder or disease. Getting my words? So these are all measures by which we can prevent malaria from spreading on. So here in this video we have discussed in detail the bacterial diseases that are first we have talked about the typhoid, secondly we have talked about the pneumonia, okay, and then we have talked about the viral diseases. In viral diseases we have talked about common cold. Next we have talked about the protozoan disease, that is the malaria. Another type of the malarial it is another type of the diseases that are caused by the protozoans. They are chikungunya and dengue. It is dengue and chikungunya. It is having a widespread effect on the Indian society, as in the past years you might have seen that it causes joints in the pain in the joints, and the person feels unable to move about here and there. The person is suffering from very high fevers for a large couple of days, and in case of the dengue there is a decrease in the platelet counts of the person. Clear? So these are also the protozoan diseases that are related to the protozoan parasites, but since it is not given in your NCERT books in detail, therefore we are not dealing up in detail over here, but all the symptoms you all know, that what are the symptoms of these diseases. And again the vector, here also a vector is required in chikungunya and dengue, that is Aedes mosquito. It is very much responsible for spreading out the disease, or for of course for spreading out the disease from one person to another person. And again we can take the same precautionary methods as we have taken in the case of malaria to stop the further infection or spreading out of this type of diseases in the localities. So this is all about the diseases, that how can we take care, how can these diseases be spread out from so small microorganisms. Now in my next video I'll be dealing up with diseases that are caused by fungi, okay, that is microderma, etc. Then we are also going to deal up with the diseases that are caused by helminths. Clear? That is Ascariasis we are going to talk about, and then we are going to talk about elephantiasis. Clear? Till then you just have a read on my have a glance at my video and just read the contents that are related to the video. Clear? Then I am just going to give the certain type of the PPTs or the worksheets every day, so that you might have it might be possible for you all to know what type of the questions they are going to come in your board examinations, and it is going to help out you over there. So up till then, kindly read out the chapter, and if there is any queries or any doubts, you can ask me in my next upstreaming class. Getting my words? So again and again I am saying that kindly read out the content, and even just try to do up the question and answers that is given in your books. Clear? Till then, we should say thank you, and we are just going to meet again in my next video with the upcoming what to say next disorders. Okay, till then, thank you.